Welcome to the Vitality Lounge, a place where the uncomfortable questions become comfortable, where conversations, topics, and expert guests unlock the keys to vitality, empowering you to embrace the vibrant life you deserve. Now here's your host, Nicole Bach.
Today's guest invites us into the spaces we often avoid: stillness, softness, sound, and sensation. She's a somatic guide and voice alchemist who helps women return to the wisdom of their bodies and the truth in their throats. Her presence is medicine, and her work is an invitation to feel more, express more, and live more fully. Help me welcome Sandra True. Hey Sandra, welcome to the Vitality Lounge.
I'm so excited to be here having a conversation about my favorite topic, vitality. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's my favorite topic too, and it's a favorite topic of our listeners, hopefully. And the reason why we actually always start with the question of what is vitality for you?
Life force.
Yes.
Vitality is what is making us come alive, is health, is wellness. It's really understanding the power that we are as light bodies, as light beings, as electric beings, that when we are doing the thing that is bringing us into recognition of who we are, into not only in our personal bodies and in our personal lives, but also in connection to the earth and like how we get charged, which is with the planet and nature, and doing things that are life-giving values. That's how I think we support vitality. We allow vitality to come into us. Is in that way.
I love that. Sandra, tell me a little bit about your past, your background, and what you do.
Oh, my past is so interesting. I am an actor, a retired actor. I was a teacher. I taught yoga for a long time, for many years, and I also work nightlife to support my careers, right? So I come from overworking, overdoing, doing the hustle life, like just pushing hard, working 7 shifts a week, working nights, waking up at 7 a.m. to teach yoga, auditioning during the day, going back to work, doing the classes, doing the trainings. I was deep into metaphysics and the philosophy still. I was putting myself through all the things, doing the New York life.
Yeah, and you lived in New York.
Yeah, I grew up in New York. And in New York, for some reason, you have it's the charge of the city that it is celebrated to burn yourself out in a city like New York.
It is. You're very right.
So that's, when it comes to vitality, I'm someone that really struggled with insomnia for years. My hormones were so like out of balance. My relationships were having obviously they were affected because it was hard for me to want to connect when I was tired, but I was also wired all the time, because when you are not sleeping well, you find ways to do more.
Of course.
Right? It's like the more that you do something, the more that you want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And when you're in overwork, overdoing, and just pushing through life, you somehow want to keep doing that, even if your body is saying no.
Probably not used to anything else. That's the way you're wired in. So it's like, well, that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Well, that's what happens with addictions, right?
Exactly.
With negative addictions, right? I believe that good habits and things that we can actually allow ourselves to learn to have greater levels of vitality are just like creating healthy addictions. And it's the same way. Right? So looking back at my life, that's what I did. I started to structure a way of life that supported really good personal patterns, healthy addictions. I was restructuring my life, my work, what I do in a way that served my callings, in a way that served my unique gifts, and also matching personal nature to great nature. Right? Nature has her own amazing rhythms, and many people are struggling with vitality because they forget that they are little cells of one great organism, which is Gaia, Earth. And they are trying to go against the natural rhythms of when the sun sets, of like where the sun rises. And I know I work with a lot of people that essentially take on this curiosity of like what happens if I start to align myself not only to the rhythms of the day but the rhythms of the season and the rhythms of as a woman. I work with women too, and the rhythms, my natural rhythms, and sync myself up with that. And that's kind of like the work that I've been doing, is supporting people in finding new ways to engage in greater levels of aliveness, of really listening to themselves. And so much of that is to pay attention to what's making them come alive, to what's true.
Yeah. There's a thought behind that. If you're focused on that high life of ambition and work, then you're not able, or you can't connect to what you just said, great nature. I think that's a great word to put around, It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
How do you help people do that? Because there's a lot of ambitious people, women, men alike, that want to keep going and want to have that career, but then need something more.
Yeah.
How does that work? How do you balance that out?
Well, I work with a lot of beautiful, successful, conscious leaders, entrepreneurs who are disconnected from their bodies, from their purpose, from clarity, despite doing the work, despite doing the workouts, despite journaling and reading the books and doing the thing. And they really want to live a life that feels like who they truly are. Where I see the gap is that they are essentially doing the activities for the outcome. If I meditate, then I will get this. If I work out, then I will get this, because that's how we've been conditioned to. We've learned to love conditionally, to do everything for an outcome, and that's not a life that is to be lived, right? Like, people are so busy doing the life that you forget to live it.
Yes.
And so what I work with people to understand is that you do this new habits, these healthy addictions, these new identity shifts for the joy of doing them, because it's in doing them that you get the relief. It's in doing the workout that you get the dopamine. It's in pausing to hear the silence that you get relaxed. It's not, then I will manifest this, which I think is something in the the manifestation, then the law of attraction, and which is it's really missing a lot of what the deep work really is, because so much of what we are getting in our life is not really what we are saying we want. We're also getting what we don't know we want, what's in the unconscious. Right? I work with a lot of people on coding that, working on what is the conditioning around their life that is keeping them doing the same thing despite having all the grit and the intention and the showing up but burning themselves out in the process. Because they're not understanding how it all works.
So you said doing the deep work. I mean, everyone is, manifest, visualize, which is great. But what does doing the deep work mean?
I think doing the deep work goes beyond mindset and manifestation, because we are speaking about not just changing concepts. It's not just at a mental level. We are speaking about changing the energetic structure of our being. We are speaking about releasing the initial trigger to responses that are keeping me doing the same thing again and again and again. It's doing the deep repatterning work, is the shadow work or parts work, is doing the deep integration, is learning to feel without going anywhere, is really practicing the art of staying with what's present in your life instead of finding a way to scratch the itch and avoid or people please or just keep going into hyper busyness mode, which is how so many of us keep ourselves from actually being with what's unfolding in our lives. We are in a culture that runs away a lot. And how I think the deep work really develops is that we stop trying to perform that we are having healing done, and we start embodying who we really want to be, instead of wanting to get there one day and trying to do the thing is encoding not only what is in the darkness of the unseen and the unconscious, which we will call the negative side, but that in our unconscious, we also hold our gifts and our uniqueness. And it's only through doing that work that we can find what are the gems, because those parts that we call bad or the things that we call addictions are actually holding our uniqueness, right? And it's only when we own our story, when we gather ourselves and accept all of ourselves and then make decisions from that place, a place of centeredness,
Yeah.
that we can start to guide our lives from a place of what's true to me instead of what's expected of me, or how will I get validation, or how would I be liked, or what do I have to do to get X, instead of what can I give, right? What am I here to serve? How can I pass my life on in a way that serves the greater pattern of creation? It's a different way of living, and I think many people are having that deep need to serve in that way, and they're not finding what are the right systems that can get them to true authenticity with who they are.
Yeah. You spoke about soul setting, and is that
Yeah.
part of the work that you do? Tell me a little bit more about that, and our listeners as well. What does that mean?
Yeah, SoulSit is a system that I've developed through years of working through spiritual psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, being a linguist, knowing the power of our voice to speak. Most people don't understand the power of our word. Doing the energy work, understanding that we are radio beings, essentially. It's a good way to think about it, and we are emitting information with our thoughts, with our feelings, our emotions. So much of what we are broadcasting is not just affirmations or like vision boards. It's actually what's encoded in our field. So what I do when I work with someone through the SoulSit system in my conscious creator experience is that we center you in your soul. And we do the work through learning that there is and developing the part of you that it's both the awareness that has no content, that is content-less awareness, and having you have the experience of what that is. Okay. Many people is like, oh, that's that like really having the practice of experiencing what the part of you that can sense without identification is. And then at the same time, knowing that that's the feminine part, but there's also a masculine side to that, and that's the part that can guide and make decisions. And many people are stuck in just the awareness part of it, which is not a necessary step, right? It's important to become aware of your wounding, of your traumas, but more importantly is to develop the part of you that has the capacity to direct your life and make decisions based on that awareness. And with that, we also develop the different psychological functions, like your thinking, your sensing, your intuition, your imagination. We put you in the center of all that you are. And from that place, you can think about it as like a charioteer that has all these different horses, right? One being your mind, one being your feelings, one being your imagination. But if one of the horses is left wild, it would take all the other horses, right? Yeah. So our job is to be really good drivers of like where we're going, like being the driver's seat of our lives.
Yeah.
And that driver's seat is the center of who we are. And that's not being centered in our mindset, is being in our soul set. And in the body, it also mirrors because it's in our heart, right? Our heart is like, I call it like the Wi-Fi to our soul.
Yes.
So it really is about coming into the heart and trusting the information and the knowing of the heart. And many of us are making decisions solely based on our thinking because that's what society is celebrating. It's like, yes. Oh, right, like you have all these concepts and accumulated knowledge, but your heart has a completely different wisdom, and is a wisdom that oftentimes knows without any proof at hand. It just knows, and I think that's the most important guidance to learn to follow.
Yeah. Do you see a shift in recent years in how the society is perceiving and understanding these two concepts, or is it still a growing thing that you hope to grow further?
Very much so, because there was a time where a lot of the things that I'm talking to you about seem very woo-woo and very out there, and now so many people that are I call it a couple of ways, right? I think that we as humans, we we have a tendency to grow in both directions. So in one direction, it would be like the vertical line, the people who have been manifesting things in the world and getting really good at being in the material and achieving and doing. And there's some other people that grow in the horizontal way, which is, you know, connecting to spirit and moving up and like having the experience of higher levels of consciousness and developing that channel of knowing. And now I'm seeing more of like there's a crossing, and more people that are in the vertical line are wanting to get more familiar with like what is who. It's not enough to develop myself in new thinking and in a stronger, big built body. It's also important to like, who am I without any of these identities of my stories of who I've been. Yeah. And then the people that have been growing in just the channel is like, hey, the only way that I can serve is to actually come into creating and serving and giving. So I'm seeing a lot of that in culture, that some people that would have been completely against any of these way of working with self that might be a little bit out there beyond psychology, which psychology has its gifts, but it's mostly focused on your story.
Yeah.
And I think that work like the work that I do is different because it's focused on your potential, and it's connecting you to what's the soul desire instead of entertaining all the wounding. It's just like we go there to do the work, to find the gems, and also we keep moving because like, you know, I'm a yogi, so it's purpose oriented. Where are we going?
Yes, purpose oriented, moving, keep moving. I think that's a key word as well, right?
Yeah.
If someone is listening, right, and feels connected to what you're saying, but has done all of that, like manifestation, visualization, and it's like, I'm doing all the right things, but I'm not there. I don't feel fulfilled. What are the first steps that they can do? Do they need to work with someone, or is there something that they can do by themselves to start entering this consciousness, I would say, of soul setting?
Yeah.
And
I think the first thing you want to do if you find yourself that you're not fulfilled is to ask why, and how are you measuring fulfillment?
Yeah. I think the second question is even more important.
Yeah.
How are you measuring
How are you measuring
what is
fulfillment?
That to you? What does that mean?
Yeah, fulfillment to a lot of people might be to what is approved by society, unfortunately, or to, if you're a woman, to what I should be. I should have been married. I should have had children. If you're a man, well, I should just be there by now and have all the things. And the truth is that life is a spiral. And a better practice would be, can I find fulfillment without cost? Right? Can I find love without, or give love and be in love without an object?
Yeah.
Right? Can I allow myself to tune into this moment as the place I want to arrive to? Right? Can I allow myself to have the practice of not neglecting my tasks and my big visions and my goals, and also knowing that today is the dream. Today is the dream, to have that expanded gratitude. And I think a lot of people are just, you know, I'm grateful for my parents and I'm grateful, but are not really having the somatic practice of expanding their body to be grateful on a consistent basis, to be grateful for breath, to be grateful for life, to be grateful because they have a cell phone that they can communicate around the world, to be grateful that they have places of life that they want to grow into. If you had everything solved, you would be transcended.
Yes.
Right? You would be, that's it.
That's true.
So having challenges in our lives and having things to make ourselves grow is a privilege. There's so many people behind bars. There's so many orphans in the world. There's so many people that are not eating, that are not having meals or having water. And it's really all about relativity, right? The law of relativity in Hermetics is essentially saying it's everything in your life is neutral.
Yeah.
Whether you decide that you are in a place where you are fulfilled or not, you're going to be right. But it's really a personal decision.
Yeah.
You will always be right for whatever decision you make.
Yeah.
because it's all about how you perceive reality, not about what is unfolding in your reality. But if you can't perceive reality from a place of deep gratitude and reverence, that everything you do comes with the spirit of thank you, that your actions that you're doing for your work is you praying with a thank you, right? It's like you're doing it because of the joy of doing it, that really your actions become a way that you say thank you to all of life for all that you have. Yeah. And it's a different way of living when you are waiting for opportunities and excited about the opportunities to share yourself than expecting and wanting to just get, you know?
I love the passion that you have. Like if anyone, I mean, I feel it here and I feel that energy and passion. So I'm sure like the listeners will feel it through that as well, because you just see you embody that in yourself, right? Hey everyone, I've had some of you ask me, Vitality Lounge powered by Gainswave. But what is Gainswave? Well, let me tell you. Gainswave is the leading regenerative solution for him, her, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more alive in your body, Gainswave uses safe, non-invasive acoustic wave therapy that boosts blood flow, sensitivity, performance, relief, and healing without pills, needles, or downtime. Absolutely pain-free and under 15 minutes. Restore performance from the inside out and reclaim your spark with Gainswave. So if you're ready to go deeper into pleasure, connection, and peak performance, go to Gainswave.com and find a provider near you today. Embrace vitality. You said somatic practices. What do you mean by that, if someone doesn't know what that means?
Yeah, thank you. When we're speaking about somatic practices, we are thinking about how can I link my breath, my body to my mind in a way that I connect. Your body is an antenna of consciousness. Your body is it is holding information that maybe your mind completely thinks it's solved, but there's memory in the body that needs to be released on a consistent basis. Your body is holding on to tension, and it's so important to keep an open channel. So whether you are moving, dancing, working out, releasing, punching a pillow, screaming, doing anything that it's actually moving the energetics in you want to think about the fact that you are like water.
Yes.
You are essentially mostly water. And when your water is stale, you go to a pond that has no circulation in it, it
becomes
stinks.
Stagnant,
Right? And stagnant water stinks. What you want to do is that really to understand how can I purify the waters in me all the time and move energy, because our emotions, a lot of people are stuck with having old emotions and resentment and bitterness and avoidance and over that energy of overdoing will keep you in a contracted body. Anything that's keeping you in a contracted body, you think it's stagnant energy. It's a stagnant body. So it is highly important to connect to our joy and to connect to our vitality, that we are in movement, that we're keeping our waters fresh, that we are doing whatever it is. And by the way, your body knows what to do. Your body knows exactly what to do right now that would make it feel good. That could be playing your favorite song and having a dance party by yourself. That could be simply putting your body on the ocean or on a mountain or going and sitting next to a tree. We intuitively know this. And I tell you this because no one teaches children how to do somatic work, and they are the best somatic workers.
For
right?
sure.
They cry when they need to. They kick a pillow when they need to. They dance because they're painting because. So you could do anything that is a physical activity that you're doing, not for an outcome, but for a release, because the release itself, the moving of the energy within you or the waters within you is what's creating spaciousness, so that you think about it like this, it's regulating your nervous system. When your nervous system is regulated, which usually happens through play, through joy, through vitality, whatever is giving you this, through deep human connection, through love making, it's like when your body is relaxed in that way, your inspiration is natural. We are meant to be channels, conduits for higher creativity or to connect to source and to birth it into the planet, right? That's what we are essentially. So that's like somatic work at its natural level would be things like that.
Does transformation happen on a physical level of actions that change in real life, or is it more of a transformation inside out that you see in your clients? Meaning, do they actually change the activities that they do in their life in order for it to internally help them achieve that kind of transformation, or vice versa? Is it more like inside, that something changes inside, nothing else might change outside, I still might have the same job or do the same activities, but I see it in a totally different perspective?
Yeah, great question. I think that it's inevitable to change your activities when something changes in the inside. And so that's what I call like top-down regulation, right? I change a way of seeing something, and all of a sudden something in my body is changing, or my choices are changing, or just the way that I prioritize my environment changes. Because you might have the same job, you're just probably not going to be spending more time doing activities in your personal life or even at your job that are not in alignment with the new aha that you had, with the new connection that you made. What I'm also passionate about is changing behavior so that we can change our belief system. I think it's way easier to change a belief through changing the behavior, changing the action.
That's what they say, body first, and then it helps you with your mentality.
You change
as
your
well.
identity. Yeah. When you're changing your identity, how you know yourself, right? It's like you want to know yourself as a healthy person, work out, exercise, right? It's like once you have historical evidence that you do something, it naturally becomes a part of who you know yourself to be.
Yeah.
And so it's like I can say all the mantras that I put on the mirror, but if I'm not doing the action, then it's just air. And I'm telling you, as someone who loves language and who speaks with authority, and I speak right to the heavens, and I'm forever using my voice to create, because our voices are wand, right? I really believe that our tongue is also a super powerful way to create. And yet it's if the words are not connected to the action, right? It's just like that's the whole point of the yoga. That's the whole point of personal development, of soul set development, is that we want our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions to be in alignment with our vision, with everything that we're doing. You want to live a life that really speaks to who you are, go beyond thought. Take the action, do the thing. It's like it's beyond thinking it and wanting it. It's about being it, right? It's to be the thing. People think it's like transformation might take a really long time. If you think so, it can also be very fast, right? I work with people doing both inner, going and rewiring through hypnosis work or through reprogramming work, however that might be in that moment. And also, it's a lot of repatterning habits and creating healthy addictions, as I call them, right? It's like and making them desirable and putting yourself. This is very important, that you are responsible for your environment. Your environment is what you are, in a way, taking in. Just like the food that you eat, in a way, everything that you are taking in through any of your senses is what you're becoming. Just like the food that we're ingesting is becoming our body. The books that you're reading, the media that you're watching, the friendships that you're with, the conversations you're engaging with, the ways that you're avoiding, or the ways that you're everything is becoming a part of you, and it's really your responsibility to engage in what is in alignment with the person you want to become, and get very clear. And I think that's really important for people. Get clear, like what does that person do when they wake up, and what does that person do how do they work, right? Who do I want to be, and how do I be that now? Like, what are the small actions? Because it's like, well, I want to be this powerful person that I'll give you an example. Like in my personal life, I dream of being able to serve the children of the world, and to have and to work with an orphanage or create an organization that feeds children that don't have parents, or that helps them go to school. And how I take that, it's like, okay, but how do I do that now? And a lot of what I do with people is finding the little orphans inside of themselves.
Yes.
Right? So that's looking at the big picture of what you want to be, and then thinking about what is the quality that I can pull from that and do that now. I don't have to wait to get to X.
No.
Right? So if you want to be very fit, what does that person do? Okay, I'm going to do it now. And then you can start asking yourself like, wow, how am I going to get healthier? Not I want to be healthy, but using language in a way that's in alignment with that. I'm going to get healthier. I'm getting healthier.
Yeah.
Because if we are still using language that says someday I will, then that's not in alignment with being it.
Yes. I love that we finished on the language, because that's where I wanted to circle back. I think it's something that people know but don't focus on that much. And you said voice, language, you were mentioning like the tongue, like everything. Tell me a little bit more about what your thoughts, beliefs are behind this, and how important it is for a person to really understand that.
Oh, it's major. We are in a society that is moving from victimhood to empowerment. I truly believe that my work supports people in that. But so much of what is keeping us in a victim stage is things that we learn from well-meaning people and from our teachers and from our conditioning. So we use language that is keeping us in a victim state. We use language on a consistent basis that it is identifying us with what we don't want. I'll give you an example. We find ourselves saying, oh, I should do the thing. I have to do that. I'm sorry, I can't meet you because, I have this appointment. I must do this. And so why that is important is because we have, like in Gestalt therapy, this is very quick, but in Gestalt therapy, we understand that we have 3 major archetypes. One is the archetype of the judging parent, overbearing parent. Then there's the archetype of the little child, the victim child. And then there's the adult, right? Or like the part of you that is centering your soul, that soul set that chooses, creates, and decides.
Yes.
And so we can change that language through, I choose to thank you so much, but I'm not going to this event because I really want to focus on this book project I'm working on. No, thank you, period.
Yeah.
I want this. No, I have to do this, but I choose to work on this. I choose to work out. I choose to eat healthy. It's my choice. I create. This is my decision.
Yeah.
Right? Putting ourselves in the language of decision making instead of the language of I am a victim to my calendar. I'm a victim to the things that are happening in my life. It's so subtle. And we hear everyone doing it and saying it. But it really puts us in a position of understanding that the truth of your life and what you're doing and the activities that you're engaging in, it's all your responsibility. And if you feel, and energetically, when you say, I have to work out, you just lump. No, but you don't want to, right? It's just like the first, if my mom ever said to me, you have to do this, like, I don't want to do it. But if we all of a sudden are using empowering language that's saying, I want to work out. I choose to work out. Yeah. I'm an athlete, period, right? It's all of a sudden, whoa, my energy, my spine gets strong because it's my choice. No one's making me do it.
Yeah.
And so language is revelatory of our thinking, and vice versa. Language is influencing, right? Our language is self-hypnosis.
Yes.
The words, even that's why it's so important to pay attention to what you're watching, the movies that you're watching, because you're going to start replaying a lot of that language inside of you, or a lot of those visuals inside of you, right? It's like, so thinking about what music you're playing, and also pay attention to how the people that you are connecting to, how they're speaking. And you start paying attention that a lot of the people we love speak with a victimhood language.
Yeah.
And there's no judgment to it. But something I work with my friends, with my colleagues and people that I admire, is that we keep catching ourselves with how do we improve each other's language?
I love that.
Because we're creating, right? Like, I'll give you another example. One of my friends said to me in Spanish, I said, te debo un beso, I owe you a kiss. And she said to me, right, she's another medicine woman. I've been on the medicine path but she's very smart. And she said, honey, we don't owe each other anything. And I was like, that's good,
Yes.
right? Or like I said to a waitress the other day, I'm sorry to bother you, right? Like, I'm sorry to bother you. And just like that. And my friend said, you're not a bother.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's true. Like,
You're
why do we
right.
come up with that, right?
Yes.
So it's like, no, excuse me, can I please, can I ask you for this, right? It's like, so it's like, how can we start using empowering language that it's putting us in the position of authority of our life instead of the position of like, I'm small and I have to, because energetically,
Yeah.
that is not emanating. I speak with I believe what I'm saying, essentially.
Yeah.
It's like I want to speak and believe what I say. And that really relates to what gives you a lot of vitality. Vitality is honoring your voice,
Yes.
honoring your own word. If you say you're going to do something, do it.
Yes.
And if not, figure out, if you tell someone, okay, I'm going to meet you there, and you don't drag it along.
Then
Like,
don't do it.
hey. And also, if something came up, rearrange as quick as possible. Like, as soon as you find out that something changed, like, let them know. But honor your word. I think especially with ourselves, like, if
Yes.
we start to honor our word with ourselves and do the things that we say we want to do, not the things that we have to do, because it's going to be very hard for you to do them. I'm just telling
Big
you.
difference.
If you're
Yeah.
not being successful at the things you have to do, maybe just change the language. And if you do change the language and you're using empowering language for the things you want to do, then really give yourself the gift of vitality that surges when you show up. Because when you show up for yourself, you're developing self-trust.
Yep.
When you develop self-trust, all of a sudden, the whole world seems trustworthy.
Yes.
And when you're in a safe place, your nervous system relaxes and you want to play more and you want to be more authentic and you want to connect more.
Yes.
And people want to hang out
You
with
attract,
people.
you
Yeah.
attract what you put out there,
Yeah.
right?
And so it's like life becomes funner and more enjoyable when we do the simple but profound work of honoring our word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love everything that you said. I'm not talking if you feel like I've been like just listening in and being soaked into the energy that you bring. So I love that. I'm going to go through a set of rapid fire questions
Go for it.
just to have a little fun together,
Ooh.
right?
This is gonna be a challenge. I'll try not to go into a tangent.
you got it. You got it. A non-negotiable in your morning routines, if you have any.
I have many.
Oh, there you go. The list.
But I think the most important, because I move every morning, that non-negotiable is movement, breath, and clean water, like the best water. I have spring water. Water is, as you might have heard from my previous shares, very important to have the
Yeah.
best water you can. Spring waters, if possible. Sunlight.
Yes.
Sunlight, breath, movement, clean water. I think that's a meditation, whether it's an active meditation or not. Okay, that was rapid. Before I go into a tangent,
And then it's like 30 minutes later. One book or mentor that changed your life.
wow, so many. But I can tell you that my path really started with Eckhart Tolle and The Power of Now, and then it went into so many different things. But reading that book I was very young, and Napoleon Hill. Oh my God, I was 18 when I started reading Napoleon Hill, and he speaks so much about autosuggestion and how our environment is creating. You could tell that from my share that it's still vital to my life right now. And The Power of Now, which is experiencing presence as an actor and as a yogi. So much of what I've grown into is like the love of experimental presence. Because if we don't want to be here, if we don't love to be here, it's going to be very hard to enjoy it when we get there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that those are two pillars of my life till this day.
Favorite place to be fully embodied and yourself?
I mean, I think the life is my dance floor. I was gonna
I
say
love
the
it.
beach or whatever. But it's like, I dance everywhere. I dance in the street. I am that person. I think that I love nature is my home. I feel very much like myself in the jungle, in the mountains, on the beach, witnessing, like even in a small yard, just my feet on the earth, like, yeah, just nature. When I'm in nature, everything, I feel nature is my greatest teacher. So my mother is our mother. So just going back to her, it's the one way that for anyone listening, they want to quiet your mind, go and receive from nature.
That's what, for me, it's walking just outside, outdoors, listening to the birds, listening to the wind through the leaves. It's just grounds yourself, right?
Yeah.
If you have a word of advice or a motto that you want to share with your listeners, what would it be?
The first thing that comes to mind is that whatever has happened to you might not be your fault, and it is your responsibility. It's your responsibility. No one else is here to make you feel better or to cuddle you or to treat you any way that you wouldn't treat anybody else. That it's your responsibility what you allow in your life, what you consume in your life, how you treat yourself. How you treat yourself is how you're teaching others to treat you. So to have high standards for your life and to have a lot of fun while you're creating a life. Don't forget to enjoy the life you're living because you're too focused on the life you're creating.
Boom, mic drop. Sandra, if someone wants to find you and learn more about you, where can they look you up?
Yeah, they can find me on my website, sandratrue.com. They can also find me, and I'm pretty active on Instagram. I'm there like every day, chatting and connecting with people. And I have a YouTube channel. They can find that. And just stay connected. I do a lot of very fun in-person events, exploring consciousness through play in Miami. So that's a good way to have an experience of my work in a very different, in a group setting. And then my conscious creator experience is something it's my container. Really, it's a container for transformation. That's what I create mostly. I'm a creator of containers for transformation, and it's my coaching program that I've done for many years, one-on-one. I've run it one time for women, and we're launching it this time for both men and women in mid-September. Wow. And it's really that. It's a place where you come to be in center in your soul and to develop yourself in a way that you are going to be proud of. And in that way, like, really learn to design a life that feels like who you truly are. So if you're interested in that, I'd love to be an ally on your journey. It's not about advice. It's about celebrating who you already are and creating the conditions so that you can emerge.
I think so many would benefit from that. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah,
and thank you so much for being here on the Vitality Lounge. I loved it.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
Nicole.
you.
You've been listening to the Vitality Lounge with Nicole Bach, powered by Gainswave. Make sure to subscribe to the Vitality Lounge wherever you get your podcasts. Gainswave is a clinically proven therapy that allows you to embrace vitality both in the bedroom and in your life. Whether to improve and boost performance, pleasure, and confidence, head on over to Gainswave.com. Thanks for listening.